Dan Aulbach here for the Red Fox Report in South Bend, Indiana, doing some coverage before the Marist Notre Dame men's basketball game tomorrow night. But we're going to give you a little tour of campus because it's a very historical campus. A lot of history with both athletics and academics here in South Bend, Indiana. So we're going to come along with us and we'll give you a tour. Here next to Muffet McGraw's statue, outside the Purcell Pavilion, outside the Joyce Center. Muffet, obviously, one of women's college basketball's coaching legends, around 1,000 career wins, 2 national championships, and really the definition of excellence in this program. But we're talking about the men's side, and Marcus Burton is going to be leading this team for Notre Dame men's basketball. He's been leading as a freshman guard with 15 points, and they're going to look to continue his strong shooting against the Marist Red Foxes. Now, Notre Dame did just play the Citadel and lost in double digits, a very surprising upset. And speaking of which, the Citadel, Jackson Price, Marist transfer, a forward who just had a career best 19 points. So a little connection there in between the matchup between the Red Foxes and the Fighting Irish. Makes this one a little interesting that Price was on the Citadel, now is on the Red Foxes. When you think of Notre Dame football legends, you think of the Joe Montanas, you think of the Rudys, you think of the Kevin Wyman, who was an extra in Rudy and very famous on this campus, which you might be aware of. But you also have to think of Dubrovny, who was really the original coaching icon at Notre Dame. It helps progress the forward pass as kind of a staple of football. But really, Notre Dame's first coaching legend, 105 wins, 12 losses, 5 ties. Yes, there were ties back then in college football, and 3 national championships in the same decade. Really just incredible. It just goes to show you the illustrious history of football coaching here at Notre Dame. 14 stories tall, 324 separate panels, and $200,000 worth of art put into this mural, known as the Word of Life, but really known as Touchdown Jesus, because it's directly across from the Notre Dame football stadium. And as you can see, he's signaling a touchdown. This was constructed in 1964, so it's almost around its 60th birthday, but just a beautiful mural, really just gorgeous, and over 14 stories tall, like I said. Really the centerpiece of this side of campus. Now, this very important big building in the center of campus is actually called the main building, which is a little redundant, but it is very important. It is the head of administration is here in the main building, but also this statue of Mary, Mother of God, or Our Lady, known here on campus, a 4,000-pound, 19-foot tall gold structure. This is the second tallest building on campus to what you might hear ringing right now, the Basilica, which is right next to it. The Basilica of the Sacred Heart, the pinnacle of the historical buildings here on campus, home to the largest collection of 19th century French stained glass in the world. Also started construction in 1863, ended in 1892. So it was under construction for over 30 years before it originally opened. Lots of renovation has been done since. But also, this has the oldest carillon in the United States, which is the oldest set of bells for any church in the United States. So you might have heard those just a minute ago. Very beautiful sounds, very peaceful on this side of campus. Obviously a lot of religious history and architectural history. On the backside of the main building and the Basilica is the grotto, which is 1/7 of the actual grotto in France, in Lourdes, France, but very spiritual place for people to come and pray, and just adds to the kind of peacefulness on this side of campus. These stones here were over 2 tons and pushed here from farm workers in 19th century, late 19th century when this was constructed. Boulders were pushed here from native farms in Indiana. Over 2 tons are some of these stones weight. So just a really cool spiritual place for people to come and pray on campus. We end our journey on this campus at Our Lady at the Lake. Really cool lake here on the Notre Dame campus, right across from the grotto. That's it for our tour here on the Red Fox Report, but we're going to kick it over to an interview with Javon Cooley, because this is somewhat of a homecoming game for him. Here in South Bend with graduate student forward Javon Cooley, Marist men's basketball assistant coach Dalip Batia. This is a special game for you, especially if you're from Chicago and obviously flew into O'Hare this morning before the game. What does it mean to play a game in your final season on the Marist Red Foxes so close to home during the holidays?
I mean, it means a lot just to be able to compete against a high major program. That's what I'm most grateful for. And it's the first time that my family has been able to come to a game. You know, this is the closest game I've played in Chicago, so it should be good.
When you look at this team, how do you plan to prevent their offense from being effective tomorrow?
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, Notre Dame's a very skilled offensive team. They have good motion offense. They run a lot of great sets, and they put their better offensive players in proper scoring positions. And it starts with, Marcus Burton. He's an elite, high-level freshman. He's their main facilitator. He's averaging close to 16 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So a lot goes through him. So he's a focal point of the offense. But you combine that with the rest of their roster and their starters, and they have a lot of good shooters on their team.
This is a different season because 7-2 for the first time since 2006. So best start to your Marist career. What does it mean to have such a strong start to the season in non-conference play and a little bit of conference play?
I mean, it feels good, honestly. We looking at this as the trial to get us ready for the conference. So it's good to get rolling early on and have a good chemistry early on, so that can just prepare us for later down the line.
You mentioned the chemistry and being the longest tenured player on the team with a lot of new faces, some transfers coming in as well as some pretty impactful freshmen. For you and your role this year, what's it like being kind of a more senior veteran player, especially when the team is performing well?
It feels good, just to be able to know a lot more than the other guys that are new faces to the program. So it feels good to kind of be like that on-court coach to just guide guys in the right direction.
When you look at this squad, do you look to maybe force them into playing iso ball? How do you attack a team like that doesn't pass the ball maybe as much as let's say another MAC team?
Sure. I mean, I think the most important thing obviously is keeping the ball out of the paint. And Marcus Burton, one of his best attributes is attacking the paint and getting to the rim. So he's obviously averaging a lot of points, and averaging 16 points as a freshman at any level is high level, and obviously doing that in the ACC, one of the top leagues in the country. The point of emphasis is we have to keep him out of the paint. But if we can't keep him out of the paint, he's going to continue to score at the rim, which obviously lowers their total assists. So I think, as the year goes on, I would see their assist level go up if teams continue to focus on him and keep the ball out of the paint.
What do you think makes this year's team unique from the others you've played on?
I would just say our selflessness. Like a lot of guys are selfless, and it shows when we play. So I would definitely say our selflessness for sure.
How do you manage an offense that has so many different scorers like the Red Foxes this year?
Sure. I think we're fortunate that we have. I think we've had 6 leading scorers in throughout the season, and we're at 7-2. So you're talking about 6 high-level scorers at within your first 9 games, and it's a credit to the guys on the team. We never go into any game predicting anyone's going to lead our team in scoring, and our players have been playing very selfless and moving the ball at a high rate. So our goal on offense is to make good decisions and take the right shots, and our guys have been sharing the ball well, executing on offense, and really playing unselfishly to make the one more pass. And they're all confident, amongst their teammates. So for us, the balanced scoring has helped us tremendously, because I think, opponents have a harder time preparing for us.
What's the most important part for you for playing a high major team like Notre Dame? Obviously, they're struggling in the ACC, but this is still a bigger stage than what Marist is used to in the non-conference season. Haven't played them since, I want to say, 2004. Haven't played an ACC team since 2016.
I mean, I approaching it just like any other game, It's like I said, we're grateful for the opportunity to play a high major, even though it's been years. But we're just preparing as another game.
It's the toughest part about making a roster work so that they work together to be unselfish.
Sure. I think that's one of the hardest things as a coach probably to do, is to get your guys to play at an unselfish mindset. Because the majority of players who come into college are historically the best players on their respective high school teams or junior college teams, and then they get into college, and now every shot isn't predicated for them within the offense. But during the recruiting process, we try to identify guys that have IQ, know how to play, and not only can score but also can pass. And passing, it's a skill. Do they have the vision, right? And some people have the vision, but they can't make the pass on time, on target. So during the recruiting process, we try to identify student athletes who play with vision, can make the right pass, and just make the right play.
And finally, it's towards the holidays. Like you said, in Chicago, got some family nearby. Any plans for the holidays? Being in Chicago, obviously got a busy game schedule, but nice to be a little closer to home, at least for right now.
Yeah, I'm just be with my family, see some friends that I haven't seen in a while. I do plan on going to my guy that plays at DePaul. They play Villanova on Saturday, so I will be in attendance for that game.
But any plans for the holidays in the time you do have to get away from the craziness that's been the season so far?
Yeah, I think it's always the holiday season is a great time to see friends and family and get some time to relax. But as as a basketball coach, your mind is always on the team, and we'll spend some time. Our guys will get 3 days off. Obviously the coaches have some time off as well, so we'll get some rest. We'll rejuvenate. I'm sure everybody will watch some film from home, but it's a great time to spend with your friends and family and get some downtime.
Thank you so much, Javon. Again, night before the game, really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with the interview for us, and good luck tomorrow.
Sure, appreciate y'all.
But just want to thank Red Fox Nation and everybody at Marist College for their continued support of our men's basketball program, and go Red Foxes.
Here at the Purcell Pavilion, Dan Aulbach back with you on the Red Fox Report. We are courtside, and as you can see, 70 minutes about before game time. Marist and Notre Dame taking up some warm-ups, but we're finally here doing coverage. You'll see some highlights. I'll be doing my coverage for center field. Dowgiallo will be doing his coverage on the radio. We'll have to kick off. This is, again, like I said, an interesting game for Marist. Obviously a winnable game, as winnable as can be. Right, Notre Dame against MAC opponents in 2013 prior, 28-1. So it's going to be a tough game for Marist. Obviously, history doesn't bode well. However, there is the strength of a 5-game win streak. That's propelled by multiple offensive proponents, but mostly that defense. 10th ranked scoring defense in the nation, top 10, excuse me. And that will be huge against a team that has been struggling on the offensive end, ranked last in scoring offense in the ACC. For some more updates and highlights, I'm Dan Aulbach here with the Red Fox Report. We'll see you in a little bit.
Off is ready. Max Allen for the tip for the Red Foxes. They win it, and it goes over to Jaden Collins. Jaden Collins leading the charge for the Red Foxes. Over to Pasquarelli. Pasquarelli to Cooley. Back to Daughtry. Cooley over to Collins. Collins right by the Notre Dame bench, giving over to Allen. Allen looking for Daughtry. He finds him. Daughtry right to the hole. He gets the bucket to go, using the backboard to his advantage. Not something you want to see if you're a Fighting Irish fan. Collins going to lead the basketball for the Red Foxes. Over to Sultan, back to Collins. Collins right by the Notre Dame logo. Over to Pasquarelli, the freshman. One freshman of the week a little while ago. Collins, guarded by Burton. Looking for Price, gets Price. Price to Pasquarelli now. Pasquarelli at the three-point line, looking around. He's going to try to get a fadeaway hook shot. He gets that one to go. A lot of turnovers, sloppy play for the Fighting Irish. Red Fox is going to try to take advantage here. From the free throw line, jump shot, he gets it to go. So jump shot right by the restricted area. In the first half. Just trying to, 8 seconds left in the first half. Over to Davis. Davis to Burton. Burton for, nope, Burton doesn't take the three. He gets stripped by Collins. That goes out of bounds, but the clock expires at the end of the first half. Red Foxes lead this one 25-24.
Hello, I'm here with Dan Aulbach, the editor-in-chief of Center Field. First half, Red Foxes off to a hot start, leading by 1 against Notre Dame. What are you expecting them to do in the second half?
Well, it's clear, Derek, John Dunn has constructed a beautiful perimeter defense. Marcus Burton is the channel for everything Notre Dame does on the offensive side of the ball. And where does he go best? He goes best in the paint. And he has not been effective in this late game. He's 5 for 11 on shots. He has been effective overall, but they need to find a way to continue to contain Burton. He has been the proponent of this offense, and if they can find a way to get Burton contained while guarding those wings, those shooter wings, they will be effective for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Red Foxes defensively, they've only given up 24 points in this one, but from an offensive standpoint, three-point shooting has really just not been there for the Red Foxes. How are they going to be able to adapt in the second half offensively?
Well, who's the best player to start for some three-point shooting for Marist? It's Noah Harris, and he hasn't been involved on the offensive side of the floor at all. Sub him in, get him on iso ball, see if you can get anything going on that three-point shot. I like to see Brickner take a few shots from the three-point ball, but keep getting the ball to Max Allen. He's looked pretty good in these last 5 minutes within the paint. He was 0 for 3 to start. Since then, he's been very effective in the post. He had that nice spin move early to get him to the line. He's been very effective in the low post. They need to get the ball to him, but create some shots on the iso ball and get some shots to Harris and Brickner.
And then just overall, what are your thoughts just on the first half? I don't know what you were thinking in terms of score, but it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game in this one.
This is what they call a low-scoring affair, Derek. It's almost 50 points, no, a little less than 50 points in this first half. But Marist defense has been top 10 in the country so far this season, and if they can find a way to keep up with the Fighting Irish, it finally looked like they were going to slip, and they kept it going. They contained Burton. They contained those wings. They need to continue to contain him. I've said it repeatedly, but it's the truth. If Marist can get some sort of offensive identity in the second half, they will be effective.
Yeah, that's the big key for the Marist. We'll see what happens in the second half. It's certainly going to be a good one. Thank you for joining me, Dan.
Of course, you know, this has been a great coverage so far, Derek. Keep doing good on the radio, and we'll see what happens in the second half.
Sure thing.
Burton making a move. Hook shot from the left side, no. Rebound by Booth. Huge presence for the Fighting Irish in his first career start. He's putting on a show for these fans. He's getting a pick. Booth does. He gets a double pick. Burton back over to Davis. Davis back to Burton. To Konechny, the three-point maker, and he makes it. Konechny. Collins with the ball for the Red Foxes. 8:20 left in this one. Go right to the hole. He gets it to go. And good. He's headed to the free throw line. fourth, over to Price. Price thought about a three. Gets double teamed over to Harris. Harris for three, and Harris for three. He gets it to go. And that's going to expire. Irish win this one, 60-56. They continue their streak of beating MAC opponents, and they do it again, ending their 3-game losing streaks. I'm Derek Dowgiallo signing off. We'll see you guys next time.
For us, we're definitely disappointed that we fell short, for sure. But we were playing against a team that was coming off a loss that played extremely hard. Their coach challenged them in the press conference following Citadel, and I thought they responded appropriately, and they really came out playing extremely hard, and they made it very, very difficult for us on the offensive end. I'm proud of the way we responded to their intensity. We have a lot of things to clean up, but overall, I thought we settled in and competed ourselves pretty hard and made it pretty interesting, throughout. Unfortunately for us, we had a few turnovers down the stretch, but give those guys credit. They played a good, spirited game. I'm proud of where we're at. After the first third of the season and going into the holiday, we have a brand new team playing a lot of new guys, young guys. So for where we're at 7-3, heading into break, overall I'm pleased with the guys.
In the second half, what slipped away defensively?
We held them to 60 points, on their court. But I think, they did. He's a good offensive coach. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to attack you based on how you're playing them. We were going under ball screens a lot, and then he started setting them lower and at angles that it was too hard for us to go under. So now we're getting over. He's a really good player, Burton. So now he's kind of using like a seal dribble. He's creating a switch, and we were getting those switches, and at times, we weren't disciplined enough after the switches. We would leave, our matches, our mismatches. But honestly, they beat us on the boards. I don't know what they ended up with. I guess just 11, just 3 in the second half. But which created some more chances for them. But I think overall we did a pretty good job on them. It's just hard to score 56 and win on the road.
What do you take from that last 2 minutes into after the break?
No, I think, listen, I got a freshman right here who's probably feeling kind of down, but he's such a great competitor. 2 freshmen, really, but he's such a great competitor, Jaden Collins, and I know he feels bad, but he competed hard, and you're just going to grow and learn from it, right? I think playing against an ACC team, and after a long travel day yesterday, and he played a lot of minutes against, and this was a physical game, and I think fatigue got the best of us there in the last 2 minutes. I had one timeout. 10 out of 10 times I'm going to let Jaden go. I'm not going to call a timeout right there. Maybe the possession earlier, I could have used one when we had nothing going on. But we just got to learn from it. You got to, if we're going to win a MAC championship, there's a lot of good teams in the MAC, top-end teams. And if you're going to get hot in March, you just have to learn how to execute, not turn it over, in the last few minutes.
Mentally, what kept you guys locked in? And neck and neck with the Irish up until the last minute?
Honestly, I just hear probably every coach, especially Coach Dunn, I just hear his voice in my head just telling me to be mentally tough. He's been grinding that in our heads since the summer. Even before that, when he was recruiting me, telling me you got to be mentally tough to play in college ball. You got to be mentally tough. So he repeats that to me. Brandon Hall, Coach Dilip, Derek Phelps, Drew, everyone. They keep pounding it in our heads to be mentally tough. So I believe we all are.
Definitely, just I'm gonna piggyback kind of off what Jaden said. Just being mentally tough and they just playing through every day, grinding it out, just trying to be tough is definitely a big thing for me as well, getting back into shape. So they helped me with that. But down to the last thing, I think rebounding, like Coach said, is definitely like that's something I got to work on big time in my game, and I wasn't being tough enough on the boards for sure.
We played far from our best today, and a lot of it had to do with how they were playing against us, so I'm giving them a lot of credit. But, you know, and it was a 2-possession game. So, you know, I think we have a chance to – we're not the finished product yet. We're not even close to where we want to be in March. So we got a long way to go. But I'm super enjoying this team. You know, I enjoy going in every day. We've been selfless on offense, selfless with our minutes, and you know, if we can keep this good spirit this year, I think we got a chance to be pretty good down on the stretch.
Hey everybody, it's your executive producer and director, Jimmy Tsiantoulas of the Red Fox Report. You know, I'm usually behind the camera, and for pretty much everything that we did this weekend, I was behind the camera, but I wanted to get on here and, you know, send some gratitude to people that were able to send us out here. Huge thanks to our Director of Sports Communication, Chris Riviezzo. Without him, we wouldn't be able to do some of these awesome things that we've been able to do. Thank you to Monica Schott of the School of Comm Arts for being able to put this entire thing together. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you to everyone that sat here, watched us, you know, and lets us do all these amazing and fun things. So for Jimmy Tsiantoulas, Dr. Dowgiallo, and Dan Aulbach, we'll see you later.